Rock stars, Eric Andreas, your guitar sage here. Wahoo! I'm back. I'm so excited. I've taken a 10-day stint at a Tony Robbins seminar, and boy, oh boy, am I refilled. The well is refilled, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So today, my friends, I'm so glad to have you here. I did not do a live broadcast last week, but here we are doing it this week. And today, what we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be telling you about 3 practice focuses that are going to massively accelerate your progress on the guitar. And those 3 practice focuses, and this is for beginners, it's for advanced. It does not matter. And we're going to be talking about both sides of that so that you can understand this. But really, these are 3 really, really important things that are going to develop you as a musician. I hear it all the time. Folks say, you know, I'm playing guitar, I'm practicing, I'm not getting better. And a lot of times the reason why that is, and I know this because I've fallen into the trap myself, is that they're practicing things like exercises over and over and over and over and over again when they've technically graduated from that portion of practice, okay? In the beginning, exercises are very important to just focus on because all the other stuff you're just not ready for yet. That's like asking a kindergartner to do some biology or to do some trigonometry or something like that, right? We graduate grades 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So it's important to do things in order. If we don't do things in order, I mean, how would that be if we were throwing calculus at a kindergartner, right? It wouldn't make them feel very well, right? It's not going to make them feel very good because they're not going to be able to see that progress, and they're going to feel like they're dumb, right? And a lot of times as guitar players, we feel like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not getting this, right? It's not you. It's that the practice technique is not correct, okay? You're not doing things in order. 99 times out of 100, that's the deal, is that you're trying to bite off more than you can chew. So we're going to be talking about the beginner and advanced versions of both of this stuff, intermediate, all. It just depends on where you're at, and obviously that is very subjective, advanced and beginner and all that. So the things we're going to be talking about today are songs, ear training, and improvisation, and not necessarily that particular order, but probably so, okay? So, now why do I say this? Songs, ear training, improvisation, okay? Well, number one, when you're just practicing a scale or you're just practicing some sort of exercise, what happens is you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, which is good, right? Repetition creates skill, mastery, okay? When you practice something over and over and over again, it's impossible. The brain is incapable of not getting better. Did you hear that? If you practice something over and over and over again, your brain is incapable, means it cannot do it, is incapable of not improving. So anything that you suck at, that you feel that you suck at, practice over and over and over and over and over again. You'll get it eventually, okay? Now, songs. Let's talk about these individually. We're going to drill down. We're going to 30,000 foot, 15,000 foot, and then we're going to go into it, okay? Why songs? Why are songs so important? Well, number one, no one really cares if you step on stage and you know all your scales. They don't care if you know all your chords. Who cares? What happens if you know all your theory, but you can't play a song? I'm not going to see you in concert. What about you? Do you want to see do you care if Dave Grohl or your favorite rock artist knows music theory or knows a scale? Doesn't matter, does it? They know something, right, intuitively, but, and everybody's on a different place on that spectrum. Everybody knows something about music, whether it's in this intuitive, organic way, or they know music theory as we know it, right? So songs are so important because ultimately that's what we're going for. We're going for songs. Songs move people, scales don't, okay? Scales are a hammer to build the house. People live in the house, right? They don't live in the hammer. So scales, chords, exercises, those things are tools in your toolbox to get you to build your house, which is your songs. And you step on stage and you do your songs, okay? Number one, ear training. Ear training, for most folks, is very challenging because, well, you can play a scale right away and you can play an exercise right away. But ear training is a whole nother thing. And what are we talking about ear training? What we're talking about ear training is, we're talking about training the ear to hear things, either from like an organic level or to be able to go, oh, that's a major chord, that's a minor chord, that's in the key of A. Here comes the cadence, here comes the chorus. It's being able to listen, just like reading, and you're able to know what's going on. Where are we headed in the song? Is the song ending? Is the song retarding? Is it slowing down? Is it getting near the end? Is there a cadence? A cadence is that thing that happens typically at the end of a chord progression or at the end of a song that lets you know, here we are, we're final. So ear training is really important, and the reason that I say this is one of the practice focuses is because there's no place that someone cannot improve in this. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're advanced, I don't care if you're Zach Wilde, Jakey Lee, Eddie Van Halen, Joe Passer, whoever, you can always develop your ear more. And by the way, you can always develop your repertoire more, your songs, right? So all three of these are things that you can always improve on. Okay. Third one is improvisation. Improvisation is what I did just now. I've got a chord progression going on. I have an idea. I've got my scale. I have some music theory knowing where I can go on the neck. But that doesn't make you, as I'm talking to you right now, you're like, well, I know the same thing, Eric, but my improvisation doesn't sound good. Okay, that's because, right, you haven't worked on it enough. One might think they've worked on something enough, and usually we do. That's where frustration kicks in, because we're like, I've practiced this enough, I should be better. Well, if you're not where you should be, you can leave out the drama, leave out the emotion. It's just that you haven't practiced something enough, or you haven't practiced it step by step or in the manner that you should to get where you need to go, okay? No judgment, it's a fact, okay? So try not to get involved in the frustration of it and all that. Let that go and just be like, what do I need to do to get there? Okay, once that frustration crap's out of the way, then you can just go, here are the steps that I need to do. I can do step one. Cool. After step one, I do step two, and so on. Okay, so improvisation is the next one we're going to be talking about. Okay, and this actually is fairly Tony Robbins inspired, because he has an expression that he says all the time where he says, where focus goes, oh, great, now I've forgotten it. My brain is so full, so full from last night, or from last week. Where focus goes, energy flows. Okay, where focus goes, energy flows. What does that mean? Well, if, let's say it's cold out, and you're just focusing on, dang it, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold. The more you say that, the more you're ingraining that into yourself, okay? And that was one of my takeaways from this seminar. Well, Same thing with guitar. If you're focusing, and this is one of the most powerful ways to accelerate your playing, it's the most powerful way to maximize your progress on the guitar. And that is by hyper-focusing, okay? Some in the music world call this woodshedding, okay? And I have videos on this, woodshedding versus dress rehearsal. So a dress rehearsal is when you've woodshed, and a dress rehearsal is you've done all the work, now you need to practice like you're going to step on stage, and if you make a mess up, you need to be able to practice through that mistake so that when you get on stage, you can't woodshed on stage. It's not time to do that. It's time to just play. However you are is how you are, So, with that being said, this focus is talking about focusing on one specific thing, and that's all you're doing. And when you focus on one specific thing, that energy will flow to that. You're going to start getting stuff more than you are being scattered, okay? So, let's talk about it. So and then we're going to take some questions here as well. So, as far as songs, I guess the best way to go into this idea of repertoire, your repertoire is your list of songs that you know, okay? And I, like many, have a repertoire, but if you don't keep up with that repertoire, and I'm guilty of this as well, because I've learned thousands of songs. I just don't know how I would keep up with thousands of songs, but probably if I rotated them more, I would be able to come back to them more often. So, having a repertoire and building that repertoire is very, very important. The other important factor of it is to rotate that repertoire and to keep coming back to it. So, let's say you have a repertoire of no songs. Well, friends, the beginner level, it's time to introduce a song, okay? And I'm pretty darn sure that I have the first song for you to learn in my free series at YourGuitarSage.com/30. You can check that out. The link will be in the description of this video. With that being said, obviously on YouTube here, I have, hundreds of songs, maybe 700 songs. So lots and lots and lots of songs for you to learn. So if you haven't done this already and you're just, new to guitar, scroll through my videos, or better yet, go to my webpage or to my YouTube page and just type in the name of the artist that you're looking for and the name of the song. Preferably the name of the artist, because if you don't find the exact song you're looking for, you'll probably find it by another song by the artist that you're looking for specifically. For instance, or just on YouTube or Google, type YourGuitarSage Elvis, YourGuitarSage Ozzy, YourGuitarSage Black Sabbath, that sort of thing. And that's how you're going to find those songs. However, I do believe I have that. I do believe I have an introduction song in that free series at YourGuitarSage.com/30. Okay, so songs. For the beginner, you want to introduce a song. For those that are intermediate, those are advanced, obviously you want to grow that repertoire. And for us advanced folks that have been playing for a long time, that know hundreds or thousands of songs, how do you keep that in your repertoire? And why would you want to keep that in your repertoire? Well, why would you want to work so hard? I know myself, I've worked hours, days, weeks on songs before just to get them to sound just like the artist, because for me specifically, I really love to mimic an artist. I have my own sound. I have my own things that I do. I'm not afraid of losing myself in their sound. And in fact, I mimic so many different guitar players that in fact, the offspring of that is my sound, okay? So don't be afraid that you're going to lose yourself by learning something perfectly the way an artist has done it. In fact, it's a great goal, because what it makes you do is it makes you dive deeper. If you're learning a Zeppelin tune and you're like, well, how does he come up with that sound? Well, you're asking that question, that how question, and that makes you delve in deeper instead of just using any old amp, any old guitar, and it not really sounding right, okay? Dig deeper, go into the rabbit hole, okay? So for us intermediate and advanced folks, for the advanced folks, you want to rotate that repertoire. You want to keep those going, because why would you work so hard on a tune? I ask myself this because I don't rotate my repertoire as much as I should. I end up playing the same things all the time, and that's just a bad habit. And guess what? Folks that have been playing for a long time can have bad habits. They can fall into bad habits on anything. So it's a good reminder to rotate that repertoire, so that when someone says, can you play an Elvis tune? Can you play a Stevie Ray Vaughan tune, etc.? You've got it right there, right? Music is meant to be shared, so share it. Okay, so songs. Ear training, let's talk about it. So ear training, you can start, and I have videos for this. I have it in the free class, YourGuitarSage.com/30. I've got it there. I have ear training lessons for you on YouTube. You can easily just type in YourGuitarSage ear, and you're going to find lots of bits on that. But we're going to be talking about it a little bit today. Now, for those that are intermediate and advanced, we'll talk about that a little bit. But chances are you're familiar with this idea of ear training. Some folks think that you're born with this. You're not born with this. You are born with your birthday suit, and that's all you're born with, okay? Everything else you're going to be learning. So ear training, yes, you can go from not hearing chords and melodies and scales and what have you and all the details that you're seeing, right? Like you can see stuff and you can notice colors and what have you. Well, the ear is a little trickier, right? Because we're not trained. Oh, this is an A, this is a B, this is a C, this is the color brown, and this is the color blue. We don't typically do that with the ear. There's no one saying anything to us. The only thing we need to recognize is, and we do this all the time as children, is we mimic. We mimic. So if mommy says, want a cookie, and you taste the cookie, a signal goes off in your brain. You know what a cookie tastes like. You're never going to forget the word cookie, okay? So, but we don't really train the ear like we train our eyes, right? So how do we do that? Well, it's simple. Really, you start anywhere. And one of the methods that I like to refer to, at least for beginners, is what I call hum and hunt method. And this idea is you hum a melody. Happy birthday to you. So right away, I've got happy birthday to you. I got 7 notes, right? Whoa, how do you do that, Eric? I can't find that. How do I find that? Oh, God, that doesn't sound right. Well, slow down there. What you want to do is you want to find the first note. Again, steps, baby steps. There is no other way to do it. Does that free you? There is no other way to do it than the baby steps, okay? If you want to just jump to super advanced ear training and that's your desire, then you probably don't want to play guitar or an instrument whatsoever because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen like that. It had never happened like that for anybody. So take that pressure off yourself and understand that it's baby steps, okay? So, happy birthday to you. And I just changed the key. And you'll have to pardon my voice because I've been screaming for the last 10 days. Actually 6 days. I had a couple rest days. So, we want to look for that first note. How do you do that? You hum it. And this is the commitment, is you're humming, okay? This is what's going to change. Don't hum to fit what you're playing. Hum, commit to that note, and then we're going to find it. So, how do you do this? I'm going to show you. First off, you just grab a note on any string. Does not matter. You want to go where you think it might be. So, it's probably not way up here, right? It's probably somewhere down here on one of the lower strings, okay? You may not know that at first, and that's okay. Then that's another step for you. But let's say you know that. You know that I wasn't singing way up here. Then, in that case, you're going to go to an area that just gut reaction is going to make you feel like you know where you're, a basic idea. You're not going to hit it, chances are, So, then what you're going to do, and we're going to do that right now. So, happy, happy. Okay, now I just found the octave of it because I know I was up here. But here's what you're going to do, is you're going to hum that note, and you're going to move chromatically. What does that mean? Well, just like in the free series that I have, YourGuitarSage.com/30, I teach you how to play, or how to know all the notes of the fretboard, and we're moving chromatically. So we would take a note, say this A, and we would move up. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, so on. That's called moving chromatically. You're basically taking one string. I mean, you can move chromatically across other strings, but if you don't know how to do that already, don't do that. Stay on one string, and it's as simple as going from one fret to the next, either up or down. Don't stray from that, otherwise you're not moving chromatically. You're just moving every single fret. That's moving chromatically, going up. Chromatically down is doing this. Okay, now why are we doing that? Because think about this for a minute. Have you ever lost something? Say, I've lost so many things, and I've lost a lot of things. But I remember as a kid, I lost a necklace that I really, really loved when I was a kid in a football field. I never found it, by the way. But nonetheless, I've lost stuff like this and have found it. by using this technique. Or think about it when they're looking for a missing person or something like that. People will grab hands and they'll walk across a field, and then they'll walk back another way, and they'll walk back another way, and they will, just like if you're mowing a lawn, right? Why would you do that? Why don't you just mow all around the lawn, just wherever you want? That's ridiculous, right? Same way, it would be ridiculous if you just start hopping around looking for notes, okay? Ridiculous. You don't mow your lawn like that. Don't start your ear training like that. It's ridiculous, okay? So you want to find your note, right? And our first note was okay, and I started here, and I worked down to the low G, but I could have worked up, you know. There's my note. Now, here's the deal. Once you get that first note, you're golden, because you always have that anchor to fall back on. Now, everything else will be a lot easier. If you find that first note, that's like 50% of your work, if you will, okay? Even though you got a lot more notes to go. So, now, I'm going to find these notes moving chromatically again. So, happy birth. So I got that note. Happy birth. Okay, now, I just grabbed that note out of the air instead of moving chromatically because I have some musical knowledge about the major scale. And I knew that it wasn't going to go happy birth, happy. Okay, just logically. Now, I say logically. It's logic to me because I know some music theory that you may or may not know. The major scale I discuss in detail in the free series, YourGuitarSage.com/30, okay? So if you don't know the major scale, you need to know the major scale. It is the backbone of all music in 99% of all the genres. It's what your scales are based on. It's what your chords are based on. It's what all music theory is based on. If you don't know the major scale, if you don't know it inside and out, it's 7 notes, okay? Way easier than the alphabet. If you can count to 7, you can do this, okay? Watch the video on the major scale inside of the free course, okay? This course, that one. That one, okay? So do that, and then once you know the major scale, then it's a lot easier. It's going to save you some steps instead of moving chromatically all the time. So you got happy birthday. Now I know what the major scale is, so I'm going to happy birthday to you. Now I know what the major scale is, and that's how I'm able to pick out those notes so quickly, because I don't have this memorized. I've played it before, but I don't have it memorized. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. And I could go on and on and on. So this is what I call hum and hunt. You can do this with Happy Birthday. You can do this with Ode to Joy, any classical song, any rock song, does not matter. You don't have to be listening to the song. You can just hum the melody. You could be like, wise men say only fools rush in. Go into an Elvis song. Wise men say only fools rush in. Now, how am I able to grab those notes so quickly? The major scale. I'm seeing the pattern on here, and you'll know it too once you go through that video, and I've got a PDF for you that has it all written out for you. It's the same for every key. You only need to know the major scale one time, and you can know it in all keys because it moves the same way across the fretboard. If that doesn't make sense to you, then just trust me, because I've been doing this for like 35 years. It moves the same exact way across the fretboard every single time in every single key. You don't have to learn sharps and flats, okay? Free of that, my friends. So once you can hum the first note, you can find that first note, and you're using the major scale typically. Unless it's a song in a minor key, you can still use the major scale, but nonetheless, if you're having an issue with the major scale and you're not finding your notes right away, then use it chromatically, okay? So that's kind of an introduction to ear training, and like I said, I've got more videos for you on this inside of YourGuitarSage.com/30 and here on YouTube. Just type in Your Guitar Sage Ear, open it up in another tab, and you're going to find what you're looking for, okay? All right, what else? Okay, let's talk about some intermediate and advanced for those intermediate and advanced folks that are here. I had a video that I put up the other day where one of the practice techniques was practicing to the radio. Okay, now what does that mean? Well, one, who's practicing to a radio? I don't own a radio. Do you? I'm sure I've got one somewhere in the house. It's probably on my phone or something, but I don't own a radio per se. But I mean like to an MP3 or to a vinyl or whatever, just a song, MP3, YouTube, whatever. And what you want to do for your ear training here is you want to just put the song on, identify the key. and then with your ear, figure out the chords as you're going along and learn to improvise to it. So you're here, you're doing two things at once, right? Improvisation and ear training. So I use this technique all the time. I'll just let the MP3 player run whatever I'm listening to. I love Tom Petty. He's a fun one to do this with, and his music's very logical and very simple, but very moving. And so that's why, that's why he was the icon. He still is the icon that he is because his music is so powerful yet so simple. Great artist to start off with. Taylor Swift's another one because she has very simple songs that are structured very simply, whether you like her music or not. If you can't stand it, then go to something else. But then you're in the minority because there's a lot of people that love her music, all right? Nonetheless, start with something that's simple, not something really complex, jazz or some crazy, new metal type of thing or something. Start with something very simple, strummy type of, 60s and 70s kind of music is really good, even 80s music. And this is, again, for advanced folks. If this is too much for you, then you can always back it up a little bit. And so what would you do then? Well, then what you want to do is listen to a song, use my ear training techniques that I teach inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, inside the free course, inside my Udemy courses. Use those techniques, okay? So let's say you're like, dude, I can't play to the radio, but I'm past the hum and hunt method. Okay, boop, let's get right here. Here we are on the continuum, right? So what do you want to do for that? Well, then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to use a song, but you're going to play a part of it, you're going to stop it, and you're going to find the chord. You're going to play the next part of it, find the next chord. Play the next part of it, find the next chord. And you're going to jot all this down, okay? Like in a chart. Just write it down. E minor, G, C, D, that sort of thing. And then say, okay, well, that's the verse, okay? And now how about the chorus? That sort of thing. Or if you're working a solo, you listen to one little piece of the solo. This is for advanced players too. I don't know of many players that can just listen to a solo. And in fact, I've never seen it in my life. I'm sure there are people like that. I know Mozart was like that. But to be able to just listen to a piece one time and be able to know every single note that's happening within a solo, especially one that's very fast and complex. I don't know of anybody that can do that. I'm sure there are guys that are really good at not faking it, but at being able to decipher it, very quickly. Not note for note probably, but sometimes close. So what you want to do in that case there, when you're ear training and you're intermediate and you can't do, playing to the radio or something, or again, this is for also advanced techniques, is you want to take one lick from a solo. If you're listening to Stairway to Heaven, and you got okay, well, that's a lot of notes right there. So you want to probably start with, you just want to start with one little section. That may be too much. So just go, or look, it's up to you how much you want to break it down. And there's no harm in breaking it down. In fact, I encourage you, the more you break something down, the better you're going to get at it, the faster you're going to get at it. You never have to question yourself, am I breaking this down too much? You'll know. You'll automatically grab, you'll take the bite that you need, okay? You're never going to, but chances are you're going to typically take a bigger bite, if that makes sense, than you need. You're never going to take less than what you need, okay? So if you're learning a solo, you do lick by lick, one thing at a time, and then it builds. Watch my video on YouTube, the inventory breakdown method, IBM method. Watch my videos on chunking, okay? YourGuitarSage chunking. Lots of different ways to do this, okay? So that's ear training, okay? Improvisation. Let's talk about improvisation. A lot of folks, they try their hand at improvisation. I got a lot of jam tracks inside of the Unstoppable Guitar System. In fact, I think we're up to nearly 600 now. We're even doing some visual jam tracks now where you can see the chord as it's going by to help you to play on top of the chord. I have videos for this, what that means. It'll make you sound more succinct and make your playing sound more melodic, okay? So playing on top of the chords, obviously a very, very important thing to do. Now, when it comes to improvisation, for beginners, at first it's like, well, I just don't even know what to do. Well, guess what? If you can play two notes together, can you play one note? Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. Can you play two notes? Yes. Guess what? You just improvised. Why? Because you started on one note and you went to another note. Who said that you should go to that other note? You did, okay? So if you go from here, you're being creative. You're doing something, okay? It's a step in the right direction. Yes, it may not be Eddie Van Halen, okay? But guess what? That's how Eddie started too. It's how everybody starts. You start with the first step and then the second and the third and the fourth. I don't know of anybody that starts at the 10th step. It's just, you don't do it, okay? Your ego may tell you should do it that way, but your ego's a big fat liar. So is mine. All right, so with that being said, improvisation. Improvisation, when you're a beginner, the place to start is to just take a chord, maybe 2 chords. But you could start on 1 chord, you know. I have this fun little thing that I do where I'm playing on this E major chord, and I'm playing some blues over the top of it. So what I'm doing is I'm coming up with these licks as I'm playing. Now, some of these licks I've played a lot before, right? But how I came up with them is through improvisations. I started noodling with this, and you can do this too. So I've got lots of videos for you here on YouTube. Obviously, if you're a member of the Unstoppable Guitar System, I have lots of what I call and response, minimalistic blues, and other sorts of bits where I show you how to just take 4 notes, literally, like 4 frets, and just be able to play to improv over the top of that. Now, some people say, you can't do that. Can you not? Really? Now, for some of you, you're like, well, that was boring. It's 4 notes, okay? But it still sounds intelligent, and it's still learning how to improvise, okay? You can do this, and I encourage you to do this with just a few notes. Take a scale that you know. I have lots. I tell you what, on here on YouTube, I know we're starting to put them. I've done a bunch of these. I know some of them are up already, but you might search like YourGuitarSage Jam, because I've started to do these videos where I show you a little trick, and then I show you how to improvise, right? How to do this little trick, and then I have a jam track that follows it, and I show you, okay, well, here's the scale you use, and then you're going to jam over the top of that, or you're going to improvise over the top of that. So for beginners, that's where you're going to start, okay? For intermediate and advanced folks, what you're going to do is you're going to do more of the same that you've been doing, okay? If you feel like you are good at improvisation, then you're probably an intermediate or an advanced improv player. But chances are you're stuck in a couple boxes, right? This happens to a lot of folks. Typically, they're stuck right here in the number 1 position, which is the most valuable position, and that's why it's kind of it tends to be that position that everybody goes to, and also they have a hard time breaking out of, because it's a very, very useful position, the most useful position of the scales. And this is what I call pentatonic form 1. And you can get this in the free ebook. I have this in the free ebook at YourGuitarSage.com. If you haven't downloaded that, by the way, download that and take the free course, right? You're here, you're watching this for free, might as well get other free stuff. Get that free book, watch the free course. It's going to help you immensely. I try to pack as much into that beginner stuff as much as possible. I try to pack as much in there so that you can run off and go do your thing. If you want to come back, cool, great, I'm here for you. If not, cool, I want you to learn. I want you to be a great player, okay? And that's what I want. That makes me happy, okay? So, improvisation. So beginners, you got your bit. Intermediates, you got your bit. Advanced players, again, what we want to do is we want to break out anything that's challenging you, okay? if you're breaking out of a new box or if you're trying a new technique, something I will do a lot of times is I'll say, okay, I want you, again, wherever focus goes, right, energy flows. So if I'm like, okay, gosh, I want to break out of my box. How do I do this? Okay, you're breaking out of your box. You're using some different forms and that sort of thing. And then you say to yourself, well, I don't get it yet. Okay, ask more questions, okay? So for instance, how can I exploit my bending? So I might go, okay, I'm gonna do the same bit, but I'm just gonna try to bend as much as possible. Okay, so you're asking different questions to yourself, and don't stop until you find one that you're like, oh crap, I'm not good at that. Boom, that's what you want. You want to find those places where you're not good at. Why? Why would you do that, Eric? Why would you do that to me? Because you're good at the things that you're good at. Get out of that box. That's boring. Move to the stuff that you're not good at and work on that and hit it away, pound away at it. You're going to be better, okay? You're going to get better at it. The brain is incapable of not growing like that when you do this. So ask questions. Sometimes I'll say, well, I want to try some improvisation, maybe just do some two-hand tapping, even though that's not a technique that's going to lend itself, typically to that type of chord progression. I might do it just to break out of the box and just to change the way I do things. So specifically, changing the way you do things so that you can discover these new places that you're like, oh man, I didn't know I had that within me. Well, you're not going to find it by doing the same thing over and over again, okay? Boom. Songs, ear training, improvisation, those three focuses that if you do this, I promise you, because these are three challenges, right, for a lot of folks. Build that repertoire, get that ear training down, get that improvisation down, work on, I've got videos for all of these, and I've got the free course for you, YourGuitarSage.com/30. Those things are going to help you, okay? So that's what I want you to do, and dig in, go deep with this stuff, okay? Because there is no end to it. Okay, you literally can go as far as you want and just start off with something simple. If it feels too hard, it means you're trying to do too much. Don't let your ego run away with you and think that you have to make it hard and that you're a warrior and that you're going to get through this. I know you're a warrior. I know you're a ninja. I know you're going to get this stuff. But you don't throw at a warrior if he's only fought 2 men at once. You don't throw 10 men at him, okay? You work up to it, okay? Without further ado, let's take some questions. Good stuff, all right? I've been seeing the chat go nutso the clown here. I'm going to take a little bit of my tea here, and let's get to some questions. Uh-oh, somebody was banned. Look at the naughty children on there. Ready to flow. All right, yes, indeed. All right, I'm going to see if I see any questions. Also, friends, do this. Put a question mark at the end of your questions. Very, very important, because this chat is going to start speeding up and I'm not going to see it. I'm going to be looking for that question mark. If I don't see that, then that's not going to be good, right? In fact, I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger here. Oh, that's better. Okay. Okay. All right. No questions today? All right, folks, good night. All right. Do you have any two-hand tapping videos on here? I've not seen this. Pam is saying, I do have two-hand tapping videos on YouTube. Just type in YourGuitarSage tapping, and you will find it on YouTube. I also have them within the Unstoppable Guitar System. Yes. How to speed up fingers on scales. Okay, 9 fathoms. Where focus goes, energy flows, right? So, how to get fast at it? Number 1, focus on accuracy. but focus on scales. So how to speed up the fingers on scales is to focus on scales. If that's what you want to do, is you want to get faster at scales, you practice scales. You don't practice chords, you don't practice songs, you practice scales. And when you practice those scales, you want to practice them to be accurate, not to be fast. Fast is a byproduct of becoming accurate. You're never going to be fast before you're accurate. If you do, you're going to suck. Okay, you're going to be that player who gets on stage and he's like, I hate that. I see that and it drives me nuts. I'm like, you're not playing fast, kid. You're playing sloppy. So don't do that. Don't be that kid. Okay, don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. All right. Okay, Eric, I read and understand the circle of fifths. I saw something about circle of fourths. What's that? Joe, the circle of fourths is the other way around. So you can think about it like this. So basically, if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. The circle of fifths, if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's 5 up and 4 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? That's a B. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 up or 4 down. So circle of fourths, circle of fifths. It's the same thing. It's just in the other direction. Any tips on trills? Yeah. So tips on trills is to just practice slowly. Practice slowly and accurately. Okay. Any tips for left-handed guitarists that have to switch to right-handed? Nope, Rod, nothing specifically, just practice. There is nothing specific that you need to do other than just practicing and being focused. Eric had to join late. We'll be able to see from the beginning at some point. Yeah, this will be on YouTube afterwards. Practice for arthritis. Don't eat animal products. There's lots of supplements that you can do for arthritis. Just Google search supplements for arthritis, but don't eat animal products. I did, and that's why 5 of my fingers are now physically bent because of inflammation. It causes inflammation. It causes a myriad of things in your life that are problems. Anything that causes inflammation, all diseases created from inflammation. It is. If you don't know that, you can drill down and Google. We won't be talking about it today. But nonetheless, there's supplements for it. Don't eat animal products. Don't eat things that aggravate your system and cause inflammation. Okay, I'm only getting ones with question marks. How will I know when it's time to upgrade from my guitar with a super cheap beginner guitar I've started with? There is no specific time. It's when you want to do it. Should I practice scales first or caged system first? Mark is saying, scales first or cage system first? Honestly, I think the cage system is more valuable. You're practicing chords, and unless you're soloing or something like that. Cage system is really will unlock the whole fretboard for you. So I would say the cage system, and I have videos for that here on YouTube, and obviously a much more extended version of it inside the Unstoppable guitar system. Okay. Okay. How to strengthen fingers? Play. No joke, play. Now, there are things you can do, like you could take your capo and, if you don't have the guitar around, and I have a video on this, how to practice the guitar without the guitar, or something like that. You could search for it. But do anything where you're exercising your fingers. So you could use a grip master. They have these things that you can purchase online called a grip master, or you could use a capo, or you could, squeeze your arm. There's a million different things you can do. If you're using those muscles, you're strengthening the hand, okay? Okay, good. How to delete Instagram? Nice. I learned all the 5 shapes of the pentatonic and the root notes, blue notes, and how to connect them. How can I use this efficiently in a solo? Great question, Evan. Watch my videos here on YouTube. Call and response. Watch my call and response videos. So literally just type in YourGuitarSage call and response. Watch that because I'll drill down. The reason I'm not giving like an answer for this, folks, because 99% of the questions that you guys ask me, they require you deserve a much bigger answer, not just something flippant that's not really going to help you. So I need to point you to a video. Obviously, if I did that, if I took the time for each one of these questions, I'd get to 2 questions and everybody else would not get anything out of it. So you got to watch that video. You got to watch those videos, call and response. If you're inside the guitar system, then, There's all sorts of bits for you there too. How to change chords quickly as a beginner. Use my transition technique by just taking two chords only, and going back and forth between those two chords. Do it slowly and accurately. Don't worry about speed, slowly and accurately. When you're done with those two chords and you're like, I rule this, I dominate the world on these two chords, move to two other chords, okay? I have videos for this. What is Muzento and who should use it? Muzento is a really cool practice tool if you're very type A and you like to make sure that you're getting to everything and tracking, if you're tracking your BPMs, your beats per minute while you're playing your scales and all that sort of thing. Anybody who really wants to track and follow their practice, that's what you want to do, okay? Eric, how to jump from playing chords to solo? You need to learn your scales first, and then you need to, yes, turmeric for inflammation. Thank you so much who said that. And curcumin. Yes, indeed. Those are great, some great supplements out there. Yeah, you need to learn your scales, and you need to watch my videos on improvisation and call and response. How to get rid of the fear while playing to the radio or songs on YouTube. There is no how to get rid of the fear. Well, number one, you're not gonna kill anybody. It's not brain surgery. You're gonna mess up. So here, let me free you. You're going to mess up. Boom. Now you know already you're going to mess up. Don't worry about it, okay? How many songs do you recommend practicing on daily? It doesn't matter. It depends on who you are. If you know one song, practice that one song. If you know 50 songs, then practice a few of them and rotate them, maybe where you're getting to one of the songs each week, Great questions. Good stuff, Eric. What can I do when you feel like you are somewhat tone deaf? Everybody feels like they're tone deaf. It's because they haven't learned the tools. Watch my videos on ear training, Steve. Everybody thinks they're tone deaf at first. Everybody. I used to not be able to sing harmony, improvise, play guitar, nothing. Really good to remember those things. You learn this stuff. Everything is learned, okay? So, Steve, the only reason that you think you're tone deaf is you haven't done those pieces to where you went, oh man, I just got that. Oh man, I just got that. Oh, Eric's not a big fat liar. He's totally true. No, I'm telling you the truth. You've got this, okay? Just start off doing the easy stuff, okay? You'll come up, okay? It's time to change strings. Are all at the same time, or do I look for in new strings? Strings are strings, for the most part. I use vibe strings. I really like those on my acoustic, D'Addario on my electrics, sometimes GHS boomers. When 5 comes to chord progression, should I play the 5 pentatonic or should I just stick to the 1 pentatonic? You can do either. What is the cage system? Google search it. It's search YourGuitarSage caged. Let's see, what do we got here? Hey Eric, your stuff is awesome. Your beginner solo stuff got me out of my rut. Question is pentatonic scale noodling. When I get back to my root, just repeat scale pattern, correct? Yes. Oh, if you're talking about just practicing the scale, yeah. If you're talking about improvisation, then, it's up to you. The world's your oyster. You can do anything you want. Can you demonstrate how to practice the cage system? I cannot. It'll take too long. Watch my video on that, though, please, Anna. The bar chords are the most trouble with me. You have a technique for speeding these up? Yeah, watch my video on bar chords, YourGuitarSage bar chords. Eric, do you agree that it's okay to start on an electric over an acoustic? It's okay. Yeah, it totally is okay. It's a lot easier. In fact, I'll tell you another thing for those bar chords folks out there that are having a problem is put a capo on your guitar, like maybe at the 5th fret or the 7th fret, and then practice your bar chords. They're going to be a lot easier. And what that's going to do is that's going to let you know that this is possible. It's just you haven't worked up the strength yet, and you can just be working on your technique and that sort of thing. Okay, watch my video on how to program a VCR. Is there any way to go from an E minor open chord to a B minor open chord? Is there an easy way? Depends on where you're at. I think it's real easy. But you know why? It's because I practiced it a lot. That's how to do it. Okay, how do I descend the fretboard and know where all the notes are? Watch my video in the free series, YourGuitarSage.com/30. Watch that one. I have a specific video on that will show you exactly how to do it up or down the fretboard. Okay, best way to get comfortable sitting and playing. Sit and play. That is literally the best way to do it. There is no other way to do it. Sit and play, because you're gonna figure out all the different things why it is that you're having an issue while sitting. Eric, how does an EBow work? If I have one here, I know I've got one. An EBow is basically a little device that's like magnets. It's electronic. You flip the switch and it vibrates your strings. On YouTube, type in YourGuitarSage EBow because I'm pretty sure I have a video on that. Okay, how do we determine the strumming pattern from a song? I have videos for that, and that would be a really, really, really long lesson to talk about on this one. But start with the strumming lessons, the strumming patterns at YourGuitarSage.com/30. Start there. If you don't know those, you're gonna have it hard. If you don't know how to play these strumming rhythms, how are you gonna hear them, right? You got to start there. All right. Thinking about getting a shred neck. Is there a specific one you prefer if you play acoustic? No, they're pretty much all the same, and it's really just to get your fingers moving and get your mind on the fretboard when you don't have an actual guitar there. What are the most important things you learned at the conference last week? Oh my gosh, Mary Beth. Anybody, by the way, Tony Robbins, if you've ever seen his stuff, watch I Am Not Your Guru. Watch that on Netflix. Watch anything he has on YouTube. I've followed him since the 90s, but I'm so hyped up on him right now because I had no idea until I went to this seminar. And Mary Beth, we would just have to have a conversation about it. Maybe I'll do a video on it, honestly, because it was absolutely so moving. I mean, folks there who wanted to kill themselves, folks there who I mean, everything, marital problems, you name it. 5,000 people in a room, you can imagine what kind of folks were there. Anyhow, long story short, so many breakthroughs. It was absolutely life-changing. If you can go, he has an intro one that's only a few $100s, and I think it's called Unleash the Power Within. This one was a more expensive one, but nonetheless, Unleash the Power Within. Start there. I've heard that is life-changing. It's 3.5 days. If you say, I don't have the money or the time for that, do you have the money or time for your life? That's all I'm saying. Go to it. Just do it. Do it, do it, do it. And then when you're done with it, you will email me and you'll say, Dear Eric, thank you so much for telling me to go to that because that absolutely changed my life. Yeah, seriously. Just sounded like David Spade from Tommy Boy. I love David Spade and I love Tommy Boy, and chances are it was sarcastic because he's like that and I love it. Anything we can use to help fingertips when starting out so we can practice longer. Pam, play as lightly as you can with still making contact with the fretboard, right? That's my number one tip for you. The other thing is if it hurts, let the guitar go for just, a little time, an hour or whatever, to just give it a little bit of rest and then come back to it. But at first it is going to hurt a little bit. Until you have those calluses build up, it is going to hurt, okay? Eric, how do you determine if the action of my acoustic needs adjustment by a luthier? Let the luthier determine that, Joe. You'll go in there and they'll say, well, play the guitar. He or she will determine how you're playing. If you're bashing the guitar, the strings will probably be higher. If you're playing really light and a lot of solo stuff, they'll typically put the strings down lower. Because the harder you hit the strings, the more they move, the more they're going to slap against the neck. But if you don't hit them very, very hard, then you can actually have the action lower. Also depends on the genre of music. Folks like bluegrass like the guitar action higher because it creates a louder guitar. They have to play it louder and that sort of thing. Okay, Eric. Okay, how important are modes? Knowing them all. Cool. I'll ask you, do you love jazz? If you love jazz, then the modes are pretty important. If you don't love jazz, then I'd say don't worry about the modes because the major scale, the minor scale, the pentatonic, and the blues, and really you could break that down to just the blues and the major scale. If you just learn 2 of those and you really learn those well, which really learning those well might take you years. The modes are going to distract you unless you're really into jazz. So if you're an advanced player and you are wanting to do jazz and you haven't learned your modes yet, yes, by all means. But if those 2 things, right, you're an advanced player or an intermediate player and you haven't learned your modes, then learn them. But if you're not totally into jazz, and it's not to say you can't use modes in other genres of music, but 99% of the time that's where they're used. Any tips on working with kids 8 to 10 years old? We homeschooled and want the kids to learn alongside me. Starting them at ground zero on the guitar, kids are screaming about fingers after 5 minutes. Okay, tell them to grow a set. And I'm joking. Seriously though, have them start on my series, right? Have them start there. And Honestly, now I don't teach one-on-one anymore unless the occasional person who YouTuber or something that's coming through Nashville or something, they want to do it and they're open to spending to paying $100 an hour. Then I will teach a one-on-one lesson. Otherwise, when I was teaching one-on-one, I would always start kids on the ukulele first because they were nylon strings and it was a very easy instrument to hold in the whole 9 yards. Start them on ukulele, they will not complain nearly as much, okay? Okay, isn't a shred neck the name for someone from the South? Yes, indeed. Can you remember someone from the South? There are shred necks all over the North, Glenn. And guess what? There are shrednecks, there are rednecks all over the world. I've been to all parts of the world, and you will find rednecks everywhere, and I've seen lots of them in the North. Indeed. Okay, can you recommend a good home recording program? If you're into Mac, then GarageBand is the way to go. If you're not into GarageBand, the next place I'd say is to go to Logic. It's a very easy program to use. It's dependable. It's not a lot of money. So GarageBand, if you have a Mac, because typically it comes with it, I think now, and Logic, if you have Logic is actually a step up from GarageBand anyhow, but you may not even notice a difference for a few years if you're new to recording. So save yourself some money, start at GarageBand. I have an acoustic Levine Model 123 from Cal 1955, needs new strings. Do you know what kind of guitar or know if there's specific strings to use for such old guitars? No. Strings don't really matter. There's not specific strings. With that being said, you need to probably take that if that guitar is worth a lot of money, you need to take it to a luthier and make sure it doesn't have any defects. Make sure it's not a tender where it's going to snap the neck if you put thicker strings or something like that on it. Eric, I'm convinced our son to learn to play guitar. It's been so long. I was a beginner. I'm not sure where to start with him. Any tips on where to start? Yes, start at YourGuitarSage.com/30. Everybody, start there. YourGuitarSage.com/30. Don't start anywhere else. It's step by step. I've designed it to where basically you can't mess up. And the only way you can do it is if you just quit. Okay, and in that case, you weren't cut out for guitar in the first place because you gave up. And honestly, it's so easy the way I present it in those videos. Start there. Okay, I think having lighter strings helps too. Do you agree? It helps with the action for sure. Sometimes the intonation's not as good. Music notes in the line spaces, F-A-C-E, how are they spelled? How are they played? I don't understand this because you haven't watched my free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30, 52 clog. If you do that, you will understand it. How to practice to make the bend note, or you can get this book right here, How to Read Music, on Amazon. How to practice to make the bend notes clean and clear without unwanted mutes and hums. Sour 42,000 on YouTube. Search Your Guitar Sage Bends. Okay, I have a video for this. Bought Unstoppable course. Have yet to dig in. Do you have a framework for the study? It's nearly 600 videos. So, do you have a framework for the study? Do you watch the lessons and videos in particular order in which? Yes, I have. The first video that you watch will explain it in detail. It's beginner, intermediate, advanced. Start with beginner, go through every single one of those videos in order. Then when you get to intermediate advanced, I have sections like theory, both in intermediate advanced. And I have chords in both intermediate and advanced, and scales in both intermediate and advanced. And so you would start at intermediate. If you want to know scales, you'd start at intermediate, and you'd go step by step through those. And when you got to that, if you still wanted to learn more scales, more things about scales, then you would go to the advanced section on scales. If that makes sense. Eric, what's your favorite technique on guitar? Probably finger picking. I love finger picking. So fun. While changing strings, I noticed fretboard wear from strings. Is this a concern that I'm pressing the strings too hard? No, it makes your guitar look really, really cool. Right? So, no, that's really cool. And really, that has less to do with playing the guitar a lot and has more to do with the lacquer or lack of lacquer on the neck. Yeah, okay. Seriously, what exactly is a shred neck? I've never heard of one. Glenn, it's a I think I might have a video on it, but it's basically this section of the guitar. It's just like 5 frets. It's got tuners and stuff, but you don't really tune it, and it's just something to work your chords through. Google it. Evan's saying, how did your date with Destiny go, Eric? I love Tony Robbins and was curious about enjoying your time at the event. Any breakthroughs? Evan, I had about 100 breakthroughs. Life-changing. I'm telling you, you can ignore everything I'm saying about a guitar. Run and watch some Tony Robbins seminars, especially if you think that you're above it or you think you're too smart for it. This guy will lop your head off. He'll lop your head off in a good way. I'm telling you, start with I Am Not Your Guru. If that resonates with you, drill down further. He has a ton of free stuff on YouTube. But if you can get to one of those, I think Unleash the Power Within is the first one. This is the most affordable one. Dear God, do that, okay? All right, great stuff. But yes, Evan, absolutely life-changing. I cannot say enough about it. I won't talk about it here because folks are here to see about guitar. But my gosh, life-changing, 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 life-changing. I didn't meet one people out of the hundreds and hundreds of people that I met that didn't have massive breakthroughs. Insane. How much time till you lose your calluses if you don't play much? I don't know. I never stopped playing. Probably months, I would say. Yeah. Do they make something that allows you to plug acoustic electric into the computer rather than an amp? Yes, they do. Just look on Google, just search guitar interface. Okay, Line 6 makes one. A lot of folks make them, but there's new stuff coming out all the time, so I'm not sure what's the flavor of the month. Okay, iRig, yes, thank you, Eli. iRig is one of those. iRig, just like he spelled it there. Okay, what don't you have a video for? Thank you, Mary Beth. I don't know. If I don't have a video for something, let me know what I don't have a video for, because I try anytime I have an idea. I mean, I'm in the middle of the night with a notebook, and I'm like, I wake up 10 times in the middle of the night, and I'm like, I don't have a video for this. I don't have a video for this. Makes for bad sleep though. Okay, is it like a jamstick? No, Shrednick is not like a jamstick. The jamstick is definitely more advanced in that you actually can play it, and you can, it's in tune, and the rest. The Shredneck is just literally to pick and to get your fingers moving. That's all it's for. It's about $50. Do you need to have fingernails for finger picking? No, you do not. I cover that in the finger picking, the free finger picking video that's in YourGuitarSage.com/30. If you don't know how to finger pick and you want to finger pick, start there, watch that video. I have 24? No, I've got a lot more than that. I've got lots of exercises for you. I have a PDF for you to download that's included in that free series. Watch that, learn how to finger pick. It's easy. I promise you it's easy. Okay, start there. Okay, Eric, how do I make my fingers faster to play Despacito? Is Despacito? How do you say that? I don't know. How do you make them faster? You just practice the lick. Practice the lick over and over again. You can practice other licks, but again, right, where focus goes, energy flows. So if you're focusing on that one particular lick, then you're going to be able to do it faster. If you're practicing on other licks, you'll be able to play a lot of other licks faster. But if you're practicing that one specific lick, there's specifics about that lick, so you're focusing. So the energy is going to go into that one specific lick. That's how you do it. Repetition, 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 repetition is the mother of mastery, okay? Do you give away free guitar stuff or do contests and stuff? Yeah, like all the time. Like we're giving away 30 guitars. We're giving away over $20,000 worth of guitars away this month. How do you win that? We're giving away over $20,000 worth of guitars and courses away this month. We're giving a guitar and a course away every single day for the month of December. And then I do this in all my other broadcasts too. So typically every live broadcast I give something away. Since we're doing this broadcast right now, since we're doing this live giveaway right now, that's going to be my giveaway for that. Yeah. Okay. So yes, I do that all the time. I give tons of stuff away. How do you win? Well, to enter to win, you leave a comment on any video that I've done on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Those three. Any video, leaving a comment. We're looking at comments, and we randomly, but sometimes a comment jumps out at us, and we pick that one. Okay. That's how you would win, okay? Tony Robbins will change your life in one video. I'm not your guru. Taste the juice of life. Joe, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a secret. It's like a secret. I swear to God, it's like a secret that once someone tells you the secret, you're like, why didn't anybody tell me this? And then you're in the club. I'm not joking. Watch his stuff. If I haven't convinced you already, friggin' watch I Am Not Your Guru. Start there. Life-changing. I don't care where you're from. Half the people I met there were from different countries. They flew that far and spent that much money and that much time and that much energy, 16 hours a day for 6 days straight, no breaks. And you did not want to get out of your chair. What is a good beginner pedal to get for the electric guitar? Let's go to the pedal cam, and I'll show you. This guy right here, this Line 6 M5. Get this one. It's the #1 pedal that you should get. Get it. Go get it today, because basically it does what all these other pedals do, essentially. There's like 100 and something effects built into that, and my gosh, it is an amazing pedal. And it's cheap. It's like $120 compared to this pedal, which is like a $400 pedal. This thing was just like an $1,100 pedal. They do specific things too that this doesn't do. But nonetheless, if you're looking for a first pedal, start there, okay? When looking for a guitar teacher, what questions should I be asking? Watch my video on that. Search YourGuitarSage one-on-one. YourGuitarSage one-on-one, and I'll tell you specifically what to look out for. It'll take longer than just a minute here telling you. I heard that there's a plug that turns acoustic sound like electric. What is it? A plug. There's a pedal that kind of does that, and I don't know the name of it because I've never heard something like that be very convincing, but nonetheless. Can you use Travis picking on any chord? Yes, you can, and I teach Travis picking in detail in the Unstoppable Guitar System. I may have a video for it on YouTube as well. In that case, just search. Okay, what is Travis picking? Travis picking would be like that sort of thing. It's basically where your thumb is bouncing back and forth between bass notes, and then you've got like a little melody going over the top of that. I'm not the best at it because I just don't practice it very often. I love the sound of it, but it's not my soul like blues and rock and that sort of thing is. I know how to do it to some degree, but I teach it in detail inside the Unstoppable Guitar System. Okay, that is what Travis picking is. Okay, what do you think a thumb pick like Johnny Winter used? What do I think of it? I don't like having to depend on a thumb pick personally, but I've seen some guys dominate with it, and you just carry it in your pocket. It's not a big deal, right? So it's just personal preference. That's all it is. Just for me, I don't like it because I like to not have to, you know. Oh, good. Mary Beth just found it on Netflix. Yes, Mary Beth, let me know. Okay, message me and let me know what you think after you watch that. I'm telling you, I get goosebumps. It's absolutely life-changing on the stuff that we've been carrying around with us our whole lives. Abuse, name it. I mean, you name it. The stories that were mentioned there at this week-long event, the stories that were mentioned, I dare say, will rival. In fact, my particular partner actually watched her father kill her mother. So if that means anything to you, that there's actually some trauma out there that can be helped, then that'll let you know. Anything that you've gone through, this guy can help. Watch that documentary, okay? No, I'm not getting paid to say this. He doesn't need my money or my support. It's that moving, okay? Seriously, watch it. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Is this going to stay up? Yes, it is. Are we going to be able to watch this again and share it? Yes, you will. Spite. You will. What about the Digitech Trio? I think it's great for working through jam track licks and tightening up rhythm work. I've heard good things about it. I don't have it, but I would like to get it sometime because I hear good things about it. But I need more equipment like a hole in the head, so kind of backing off on equipment right now. I got more than I need. What is your favorite cheap amp? My favorite amp is the Blues Junior. You can get these used for about $300, so I don't know if that's cheap to you. Depends on what cheap is. This is a tube amp, and you can get them used for about $300 new for, you know, $500-600, I'd say. And with pedals and what have you, man, they scream. You can use this with a band. They're plenty loud. They just have a great sound, and I can't say enough about them. If you want cheaper, there's cheaper out there for sure. And I tell you what, go if you want suggestions. By the way, any gear suggestions that you guys want, there you go. Bam, bam, bam. Kit.com/YourGuitarSage. I've got all my guitars, all my amps, all my pedals, picks, capos, ebos, guitars, you name it, the stuff that I recommend, the stuff that I've reviewed, and which I don't review or I don't post a review if I don't like something. I don't want to thrash some company, but I also won't put my name on it if I don't think it's awesome. Okay, so with that being said, go here, check that out. There's absolutely the stuff that you're looking for, and it's all sectioned off in different bits and pieces so that you can find out what it is that you're looking for, okay? And I've got more affordable amps there as well, okay? Okay, good stuff. Eric, what do I look out for when buying an electric guitar? Grim Reaper, start with video 1 of YourGuitarSage.com/30. I tell you exactly what you need to know. And it's literally like you just go to that link and you're in. It's not like you have to do anything specifically. YourGuitarSage.com/30. Watch that. Watch those. I think I've got 2 videos in the beginning there. One on how to purchase an acoustic, another how to purchase an electric. And I tell you specifically what you need to know as a beginner to purchase, because a lot of people are like, well, you don't go into all the details about wood, and you don't go into all the details about electronics and all this other stuff. And I'm like, no, of course not, because no one's going to know all that stuff. It comes down to 3 things. What's your budget? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? Okay? So if you can't afford a $1,000 guitar, don't look at the $1,000 guitars unless you want to play it and then you go, oh wow, that's what a $1,000 guitar feels like. So play the ones within your budget, play them all, and it's kind of like speed dating. You know, you try them all. How does it feel? How does it sound? If it doesn't feel right, chances are you're not going to pick it up a lot. If it doesn't sound right, chances are you're not going to pick it up a lot. So you want both of those. Don't settle for something that's beneath you, okay? You will fall in love, okay? Just like we do in life, you will fall in love with a guitar, okay? What kind of acoustic guitar picks are the best, and how do I find which is best for me? So go to the store and buy a lot of picks. Buy one of each different type. They'll open up a little case like this, you know, at the store, and then you're gonna go in that, and you're gonna pick one of each. Why? Because you're going to use those picks for the rest of your life. You're going to go, man, I love this one. This one's okay, but it's really good for this. And so you're going to use different picks for different things, okay? But I suggest thinner picks for this, and I think that I cover that specifically in the free series, okay? Because, and two, what are the best for you? It depends. It depends how you play. You know, you may play very aggressively and you need a thinner pick, or you may play real light and very accurately and you may need a thicker pick. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Black Star 10, 15, or 40 stereo, $100 to $200 comes with a lot of effects. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tank. I appreciate that for you doing that. Nishi is saying, Tony Robbins' best skill is removing your money from your wallet. That's a very negative way to look at changing your life, indeed. If you're so worried about money, then yeah, and you don't want to improve your life, then exactly, then you're totally right in your own head. I will gladly, the changes that I saw from that, I would pay tenfold. If you don't have the money, that's one thing. Then watch all of his free stuff. The guy gives away millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of stuff every day. For every year. So the guy is an absolute dominating force of kindness and giving. So you need to rethink that one. Does the cage system have to be memorized, or is there a way of knowing it? Here, I'm gonna help you memorize it. C-A-G-E-D, caged. Boom, it's memorized. If you know the C chord and the A chord and the G chord and the E chord and the D chord, that's the cage system. Then you just put them together. C, A, G, E, and D. For a lot of you, you're like, what the hell's he doing? Well, because you haven't watched my video on the cage system. So yeah, you're not going to get it yet. For those that know it, it'll make more sense to you. But that's how you memorize it by the words, by the letters. It moves up in order. C, A, G, E, D. The chord shapes do. Okay, watch my video for that. Just type in Your Guitar Sage Caged on YouTube or obviously Google. Is a smaller neck radius easier to play for someone with short fingers? Yes, a little bit, but I wouldn't get too concerned with that. A lot of people, I mean, there's a famous video, and I've posted it before, of these Korean kids, these Korean children, little girls, little boys, playing these full-size Spanish guitars, and they're dominating. So there you go. I imagine your hands are bigger than a 5-year-old. So also watch my video on YouTube that says you could something about, type in Your Guitar Sage hands, because I have a video that's something like your hands are not too small to play guitar or something like that, and I go into the reasons why, so you understand. It's a block. It's a block that's happening in your head. It's easy because what happens is we look for blame for things, and we're like, I can't play the guitar. My hands are too small. I can't do this because my dad beat me. I can't do this because I have dyslexia or whatever. Bullshit. Move on. Go to the stuff that works. And I promise you, your hands are not too small to play guitar. Unless you have doll hands that are the size of this pick, then maybe so. But I guarantee you there's somebody... Look, there's guys on YouTube with no arms playing guitars with their feet. Okay? Talk about humbling, and talk about allowing you to do anything with the resources that you have. Your hands are not too small. 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 I promise you. Practice will grow your hands to massive size. Or at least you'll feel like they are. Okay? I asked a friend of mine if he had a list of songs to learn to make progress, and all he said was Eric Clapton. Do you have a band or song list to recommend for plenty of techniques? You just got to watch my videos. Yeah, I've got so many. I've got 1,000 of them on YouTube, and I've got the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. If you're mixed up, if you're frustrated about the guitar, if you don't know where to go next, if you've plateaued all these different bits, if you're frustrated, if you think that you're not cut out for it, start with that free series. I'm telling you, there's a reason that I created a free series, is because look, this chat is going by so fast, I can't get to everybody like I want to. So I created this because I want to give some goodwill. I want people to be able to go to this and be able to do this right away and be able to jump in and understand the guitar. So start there, and that's where the techniques are going to start. But you can't start at 5th grade without going to 4th grade and before 4th, 3rd, and 2nd, and 1st, and kindergarten. Okay, 1st and kindergarten. Okay, you can't do it. Every now and then a kid skips a grade. Okay, but trust me and just do them all. Okay. When I strum, my pick seems to always move, and sometimes I drop them. What am I doing wrong? Joe, watch the video in the free series on the pick rest. Understanding the pick rest, which is a lesson that 99% of guitar teachers don't even teach. Why? I don't know. They think it's too simple. They forget what it was like to be a beginner. I don't know why, but it's a crime, because it absolutely will get you to understand the feeling of what that should feel like and to get control. Also, a tip is to use a thinner pick, especially when strumming. Use a thinner pick, but you do have to, and also obviously practicing is going to get you there, okay? Have I used wooden picks? Do you like them? I've used them. I don't like them. They sound a little dull to me, specifically, and I like something that has just a little bit of bend to them. Typically, wood does not. How much does the scale length matter? It does not matter much, but you could watch my video on the Fender Stratocaster versus the Les Paul, and I talk about that in detail. The scale length is the distance from the nut to the bridge. Okay. Good stuff, man. You guys are slaying it. Randy Rhoads had little hands. Yes, Randy Rhoads was a little guy. He is the reason that I play guitar today, and one of the most incredible rock guitar players. Just played from the soul. Just an amazing, amazing player. But yes, he had little hands. Do you have exercises on using the pick? I do. The pick rest, and that's in the free series, YourGuitarSage.com/30. Watch that. I don't care if you're an advanced player. If you don't know that technique, if you don't understand the concept of that, then what, are you going to automatically learn it? You're going to be, sitting on the toilet one day and all of a sudden it comes to you? No, you got to learn techniques. The reason I just went to this seminar, right? There's stuff I don't know. I'm a 48-year-old man, but there's a ton of stuff I don't know. Believe it or not, there's a ton of stuff I don't know on the guitar. So you got to learn the technique, and you got to practice the technique, okay? Okay. When playing an F chord, what can I do to press down harder on the B string? It always isn't pressing hard enough. It isn't pressing hard enough, or you aren't pressing hard enough. I'm guessing you aren't pressing hard enough, Fletcher. So what you want to do is watch my video on the effing F chord, E-F-F-I-N-G, and I show you several tricks on how to do this. Number one, you build the chord up 2 notes at a time, then 3 notes at a time, then 4 notes at a time, then 5 notes at a time. And it's not just as simple as that. There's a whole technique and a whole thing that you do. That and use the capo will press down the strings, and then basically, Fletcher, your hands need to be stronger, or your technique needs to be better. Chances are it's your technique. Hand strength doesn't change a whole lot, but it changes some, but technique matters more than anything else, okay? Pick rest, Googling now. Yeah, YourGuitarSage pick rest. Thoughts on Godin guitars? The Godins that I've played are really cool. I love them. Okay, Jeff. Hey, Eric, I'm here again, all caps. There's all caps Jeff, everyone. Just found free download from Tony Robbins, Reawaken the Giant Within. Yes. He's got a ton of free stuff. He's got an app called Breakthrough. Download that app. My gosh, it's amazing. It's so much free content inside of that app. Watch it. Or get it. I think it's called, just search Breakthrough in your store of choice. Okay, in your store of choice. Rock on, my friends. Okay, you guys have slain it today. No more questions. You guys have slain it today. Great questions. We've moved at hyperspeed today. I understand that some of you may say, well, I really wish that he would address my question instead of refer me to a video. Again, my videos sometimes are 15, 20 minutes long, okay? And even then, when you watch the video, you'll feel like you're getting hooked up to a fire hose and drinking, okay? So it's a lot of information. So if I tried to condense 15 minutes down into 3 minutes, I still wouldn't be able to get to everyone's questions, and you still wouldn't get your answer. So that's why I'm referring you to the videos that you specifically need so that you can move forward. But bottom line, friends, you have to start at YourGuitarSage.com/30 if you want to get better, if you don't want to be frustrated, if you want to get your questions answered, and if you want to build a foundation that's going to absolutely kick ass and allow you to do all these other things, okay? Otherwise, dork around on YouTube and find a video here and there that makes you happy and continue to wonder why you're not getting better. I mean, I'm just being truthful here. I want to be honest with you at the same time, because for me to not be honest with you is not going to help you any, okay? I'm not being a jerk, I'm just being truthful. Okay, one more question here. Have I ever quit for a period of time? How did you overcome it? Yes, I did when I went through my first divorce in 1999. Sorry, my neck is a little stiff. In 1999, I put the guitar down for quite a while, maybe a year or so, and it was a dark, dark time, and I should have never put the guitar down because yes, Usher was at Tony Robbins. Usher was there, and so was Julianne Hough, and Tim Ferriss, and Derek Huff, and Fully Raw Christina, and like a bunch of like winner people. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. But yes, I did put the guitar down. I shouldn't have put the guitar down. I did because it has been my salvation on many, many levels growing up. And when I rekindled that spark, it was amazing. So how did I overcome it? I found something that I wanted to do on the guitar. I wanted to get better, So there you go. Friends, I'm out of here. Eric Andreas, Your Guitar Sage. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. Right now would be a great time to go to YourGuitarSage.com/30. If you haven't already, if you want to win one of these 30 guitars and over $20,000 of goodies that I'm giving away this month, yeah, to you, to 30 people. Leave a comment on any one of my videos. Listen, on any one of my videos, and I'm going to tell you the 3. I see people leaving stuff on Twitter, and that's fine, but I'm not even checking Twitter in regards to this contest. Videos on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. If you leave a comment on any one of those, we're going to be looking at those comments, and we're picking one a day, and then we're sending out a guitar. Where is it? Oh, I brought it with me to Tony, so it's in the case still. But nonetheless, we're giving that away, and a lifetime membership to the Unstoppable Guitar System. It's nearly a $700 value when it's all said and done. All right? So lots of great stuff for you. What else? Oh, the gear store, kit.com/YourGuitarSage. Make sure you go there. Check that out. If you have any questions on gear, that's where to go. Trust me, any questions on gear. If thanks for the Ryan Reynolds comment there. I get that a lot, and I love that guy. I think he's amazing. All right, my friends, and what electric am I using today is a 1965 Strat, Fender Stratocaster that I got from Gruen. How about that? Fun. All right, my friends, I'm out of here. Love you guys. I'm going to make more videos right now. Thank you so much for all. Share this video with some friends. Let me know how I can help you, and make sure that you check out the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. I'm out of here. See ya.